What's up, Tube? Welcome back to Guido's Chop Shop, the second best Gel Blaster channel on the Tubes. And a lot of people have been asking me, hey Guido, what's going on with the DSG build? Have you given up? Is it too hard? Stuff and other things. And the answer is no, I haven't given up. No, I haven't even looked at it for like about 3 months. It's not because it's too hard, it's because it has been so busy the last 3 months. There is so many things going on, not just for me, but for gel blasters in general, and politics and legal stuff and all sorts of stuff is going on. It's just been crazy. But I will get a little bit further into this for you, and I'm just going to talk about the tappet plate today. You can see I've got a tappet plate in here at the moment. This is not necessarily the tappet plate that I'm going to use. I also have I've also got this SHS tappet plate here as well, which I think is probably going to be the one I'm going to end up using, because I think it's a little bit more solid looking and feeling than this white one, which is pretty sure this is a Wells. That's a Wells tappet plate. But for the purposes of the video, I'm just gonna cut this one up and show you what I'm doing here, and that way I can sort of test, make sure it's all good before I start hacking up a good tappet plate and make a mess of it. So let's get into why we are modifying this tappet plate at all in the first place. So what I might do is maybe zoom in down here a bit. Hold on. Okay, so as you can see here, we've got the DSG gear here. You've got the tappet plate here. I've put a spring there as well, just so that we can get an idea of what's going on. And I'm going to try and activate this as the blaster would activate. So I'm going to spin this bevel gear here. Okay, so you can see this pin here on the sector gear comes around, and it's going to grab that part of the tappet plate there. Now, if you can't already see, the first problem we've got here is being that it's a dual sector, there's 2 pins. And the second pin is already fouling down here before this one has even made contact with the tappet plate up here. This one's already fouling down here. So I mean, you can tell that this tappet plate is not going to work with this sector gear because that is in the way. So first thing I'm going to do is just get rid of that, and I'll probably just cut it off with something. Alright. Contact. Alright, as you can see, I've just chopped that bit off there, so now it's not fouling on that bottom pin. That is by no means the end of the story. We've got a lot more stuff to take care of here, but let's have a look at how this rolls. So as this sector gear comes around, that pin's picked up the tappet plate. Now what's going to happen is the sector is going to pick up the ladder gear. It's going to push that plunger back. It's not sitting properly because it's only half a gearbox. And you can see at this point here, might not be able to see, but I've got my finger in the way. The tappet plate is almost all the way back. That is as far back as this particular sector gear is going to pull it. I mean, it could go back about that far, but that's as far back as this gear is going to be able to pull it back. Alright, so what's going to happen now? This is going to keep rotating, and get to here, and the tappet plate's going to start to come forward, but then it's going to stop there because it's hooked up on that pin again. And rotate down, it's going to come forward a bit more, it's going to stop there, and then still caught up there, we're still coming around. Now it's probably gonna, still caught up, it's gonna let go about there maybe, and you might be able to see what's happened here. By that stage the plunger has come forward and it would have fired the gel, but the tappet plate never actually fully got released all the way back forward again to create a seal in here, so it never quite pushed all the way forward to create that seal. So we'll go around again, pick up the tappet, pick up the plunger. It'd be nice if this all sat together like it would if it was inside the box with all the pieces held together by both halves of the box. Alright, so at this point here, this plunger comes forward and gets stuck there, and I'm not seeing, and this here again, I'm not seeing any reason for that really to be there. Ideally we probably want to lose that last bit because we want this to come forward and seal before that gets around to the plunger there. So I'm gonna make another incision. Okay, so here we are again, here. Sector gear picks up the tappet plate, pushes the tappet plate back, picks up the plunger there, pushing the tappet plate back. Now, ideally what we want is we want the tappet plate to come forward and seal. We're still catching the tappet plate there. We want the tappet plate to come forward. Okay, so we're forward and sealing, and then at this point is when the plunger lets go and comes forward. I'm still not convinced that that's enough time. So what we want is that's come forward. We want tappet plate to come back, allow the gel to feed, then sector picks up the plunger. Now at this point I think we probably want the tappet plate to come forward here, come forward, seal up, push that gel that's just fed into the chamber, so we've got a nice good seal at the front there that's pushed all the way forward, and then there's time for the plunger to release. There's plenty of time for the seal here to come forward before the plunger releases. And then once it releases, it comes back around and picks up that tappet plate again. So, hopefully you can see what I'm saying here. So, because there's two of these dowels that are catching the tappet plate to bring it back, we need a lot less of this fin on the end of the tappet plate here. So I think I'm just gonna, where this first notch is, I'm just gonna cut it there, and see how that goes. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna pop the pop in the anti-reverse catch, and then I'm gonna just pop the two halves of the gearbox together, just to see if this will actually rotate and do stuff and things. Okay, so I've put all the screws in here and tightened them up, and now I'm just going to run the just going to use a small screwdriver to run the gear around, just to see if it'll pick up that tappet the way I like it. And I've installed the anti-reverse catch there, so I can run, so the ratchet will catch it. You know what I mean? Quite hard to do with a camera in your face, but we'll get there. So you can see, I don't know if you can see, the nozzle is retracting here. Yeah, you should be able to see that. Nozzle is retracting. So, oh, there we go. Okay. Got to that point and the nozzle came back. However, it looked quite slow, didn't it? Seems to be coming back quite slowly after it's released. Now I would kind of, for a DSG, I want that to snap back really fast. So for some reason that's not as fast as I would like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to disassemble this again. Okay, so hopefully you can see where I am, where the dowel here, pin, has let the tappet go. It's come forward, albeit a little bit slowly, and it should theoretically have a good seal in the front here. We'll have to check that later on, obviously, once we get the T-piece and everything. And you can see that we're still on like the last few teeth of the sector gear, so that should give us plenty of time having that seal before that releases the plunger. I am a little bit, I'm not too happy with how this is really slowly. I thought it might have been the box together, but it seems to be just as slow with the box apart. So I think it is actually maybe I just need a bit of lube on my O-ring there. Alright, so I got a bit of lube on that. Bit of lube on that now, so hopefully put this back in. Should have a bit, should move a bit smoother now. Yeah. Ah, that's much nicer. Yeah. There is always time for lubricant. Alright. That's travelling a lot nicer now. I like that. That's much better. Alright, I've just chucked a couple more screws back in the box so I can just run over this procedure one more time. So See, it's drawing back the nozzle, and any moment now should pick it up. There it goes, bang, good, nice and sharp, straight to the point. Now, some of the people who might have been paying attention when I pulled this apart last time might have noticed something interesting. I noticed something interesting. Actually, you probably didn't notice because it's probably obscured by the tappet plate itself. So let's see if we can focus in there. So, I don't know if you can see it in here, but if I wind this back, you might notice there, my sector gear is actually picking up the wrong tooth. It's picking up this tooth instead of this tooth. So that's going to be something that will need to be addressed in the future. But so far, for what I wanted to cover in this episode, about this tappet plate and sort of where I want it to be and how I want it to move, I think it's pretty good. Obviously, being that the dual sector gear does everything twice as fast, you want it to you want the tappet plate to be able to move twice as fast. So having a stronger spring here is a good idea. So this one's an aftermarket spring of some sort that I found. It's quite strong, but I might even modify it a little bit. Say, take a couple of coils off here and then hook them up here just to have it just that little bit tighter, because you want that tappet plate to snap back quick as possible, because you want to get that air seal in there before your sector releases the plunger, which, as I said, in a DSG is going twice as fast, so you want everything moving twice as fast. I'm going to call it quits on this episode for now. Don't forget to subscribe so you can follow the progress. I will be getting it done when I get to it. I mean, like I said, things have been super crazy, super busy, but thank you for all the support that I get from you guys. Don't forget to buy me a coffee. The link's going to be down in the description, along with probably the links to where I got all of this gear. Alright, peace out. Thanks.